Well, I'm joined now in the studio for some analysis on this with Olivier Goutte. He's the manager of Global Strat, a security and risk consultancy firm. Thank you very much for coming in to speak to us.
My pleasure.
So it's very significant that they've managed to capture Salah Abdeslam alive. What will the French intelligence and security forces want to glean from him?
Look, a couple of things. We've been blind, basically knowing of Islamic State networks within Europe. Abdeslam would know a little bit, at least, about the terror support network, because obviously he's been able to stay low in Belgium for 4 months, so he had a lot of help. We've hearing that 5 suspects have been arrested today, and there's many more to come. I mean, this is not just a 10-man operation like some of the people would suggest, but it's a much larger network.
It is, and I suppose the arrests that were made today, it was a total of 5 people, and of those 5 are members of a family that was housing Salah Abdeslam. So we're talking about, information about those that might be involved in the Paris attacks and future attacks, and then those that are also might be aware of what's going on and protecting those involved. How extensive could these networks be? French President François Hollande was pointing a finger to Syria and ISIL as being the place where the organization and planning of the Paris attacks originated.
Yes, but don't forget that after September 11, there were networks within Europe, sleeping cells. We had the attacks in London, we had the attacks in Madrid, and those cells didn't go away. So you have, unfortunately, a lot of individuals that have been within Al-Qaeda, but that could possibly join Islamic State. So it's not yesterday that it happened. And the problem with Molenbeek and some of the radicalization we've seen in Belgium is that it's been leave and let go for the past 10 years.
Well, so yes, given that these cells have been on the continent there, even if they're sleeping, nevertheless, they've been functioning and they will have been communicating with each other. They've been present. How is it that they managed to avoid any detection?
A couple of reasons. Mainly the way that the French and other services were able to dismantle cells was because they had an informer inside the cell. In the past few years, unfortunately, human intel has gone down in Europe and in the US compared to electronic intelligence, and they rely too much on this. And unfortunately, it's very difficult to penetrate those networks if you don't have someone inside.
Does there need to be a significant change now? Can something like the Paris attacks be prevented from happening again?
Look, they need to go back to the basics. They need to go back to people giving them the intel before it happens, because the problem is the sheer number of potential jihadists in France, in the UK, are such that security services cannot monitor everyone. So they have to make choices. They have to go on a hunch, if you will. So without human intel specific telling them that this is going to happen, it's going to be very difficult for security services to prevent all the attacks.
Olivier Goutte, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on this.
My pleasure.
We can go live to Molenbeek.